How much trouble do you think the Nets are in?
Well, Skip, they're going to be in the play-in tournament. But the question is that, like the Lakers were favored to win the Western Conference, the Nets were favored to win the Eastern Conference. As far as winning the Eastern Conference, I think they're in big trouble. It's because if you look at all the shots, nobody was driving to the basket. Everything was jump shots, where the Hawks were pushing the ball to the forward to paint. And the thing is, Skip, is that they don't defend. They can't defend. They'll try to outscore you. And if you look at Kyrie and KD, damn near 90 points. But what about the others? If they'll give KD that. But ain't nobody else do anything, Skip. You got 55 and you got 31. And then you got 9, 8, 0, 5, 4, 3. You're not beating those, Skip. You're not beating anybody like that. Not when you get balanced scores. You got 36 from Trae, but Skip, he had 36 and 10. He had then you had Cabarro had 11, and you had Hunter had 15, and you had Gallinari had 15. So when you get balanced scoring, that's what's going to happen to you. Skip, they don't play. They can't defend. They can't do it. Down the stretch, Trae Young got whatever he want. He was going by Kyrie. They put your guard from Australia.
It's Patty Mills.
Patty Mills. Yep. They put him in the pick and roll, straight to the basket. And when you slumped, when he backed up off him, he had a dagger 3 on him. So you're willing to concede Kevin Durant 51. Well, you didn't concede it. There's nothing you can do.
Yep.
He come down, he hit a one-legged 3 running to his left, and he hit a one-legged 3 from 27.
Yep.
Okay, chalk it up. Hey, he got to go in tonight. Ain't nothing we can do. Hey, let's just make sure nobody else comes along with him. Kyrie had 31, but it took him 32 shots to get that.
Yeah, that's not good.
And the thing is, Skip, if you look at it, they had 60 shots between the two of them. 60 shots between the two of them. The rest of the team had 39. So you got 99 shots, but 60 of them came between two guys. Your guy's in trouble, Skip. And at some point in time, Skip, you're going to have to say, I mean, as great as KD playing, he ain't closing these games now. Now, he had 2 shots against Milwaukee, right? Regulation and overtime.
He did. First one, highly contested. Second one, good look. Missed it.
Highly contested? Kind of like the one that LeBron had, highly contested?
He created a very good look, actually.
You lost to Atlanta. You was only down 1. You got to win that game. You got the 2 best players on the court. Would you disagree that the Nets have the 2 best players?
Well, you love little Mice Cube.
Yeah, but
right?
hold on. Now you got to admit you've been wrong about Ice Trae. Ice Trae, he was sharing on him, but then he shook it all the way down.
Yeah, he made 10 of 24. Is that good? 10 of 24? 30, you like that?
Can I interest you in 36, 10, and 6? 36, 10, and 6? Can I interest you in that? With only 3 turnovers? Whoo, Skip was cooking. And Charlotte. Remember y'all had that big old lead, 14 points against Charlotte? And KD was 1 for 8 in the 4th quarter. And you say, hey, got to close that one. Got to close that one. No, they're not in trouble for missing the play-in tournament, Skip. But I think everybody will concede.
Well, they're in the play.
Okay.
It's clinched.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, they're in the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
But as far as winning 4 games and having to beat Milwaukee, maybe Boston without Robert Williams, but man, Boston just beating the brakes off everybody, Skip. Look up again, they'll beat somebody else by 40.
Yeah.
I think everybody's scared of Boston right now the way they play it. Those 2 young guns are playing.
I'd be scared of Miami right now.
Miami?
Victor Oladipo is starting to look like himself again.
And the only, Skip, I would be concerned with Philly, but this is what I know. The refs are not going to call the fouls that they're giving Joel Embiid now. They're not going to call those in the playoffs.
I'll buy that.
And you're going to be in big trouble. So, Skip, as far as winning the East, I think you're in big trouble. You're not in big trouble of missing playoffs because, like you said, they're locked into the play-in, the 10
okay,
seed.
but the odds are they're going to wind up the 10 seed, and the odds are that means you have to win
2
an
games
away
just
game,
to get to the regular.
like 2 away games, right?
And that, Skip, that being said, you got to win 2 games just to get into the playoffs.
Correct. Okay. I hear everything you just said. I will not fight back on those points, but I will tell you this. I loved what Kevin Durant did say after the game because he did own this in ways I don't often hear Westbrook own it or at times LeBron own it. Kevin said after the game, we're fouling early. We put them in the bonus early every quarter. 37-14, he said, in free throw makes. That's... Again, they shot 49, which tied the season high of any team. I think Portland shot 49 in a game earlier this year. But 49 is a lot of free throws, okay? And Kevin is known for getting to the line, and he got to the line 11 times and made 9 of them. But his team was 14 of 19, and as Jen said, their team was 37 of 49. Well,
Skip.
look at that.
Skip, your guy Kyrie had 32 shot attempts with no free throw attempts.
Okay, and that's he missed 20 shots. That's a lot of shots.
Yes.
Like LeBron's averaging about 22 shots. Kyrie missed 20.
Right.
Well, you're going to have a hard time
Yes.
if you miss 20 shots. So Kevin goes on to say, and it's not cause of the refs. He wouldn't blame it. He wouldn't say they robbed us. It's not cause of the refs. It was because we're reaching and being undisciplined and playing too aggressive. That's the game. They shot 42% from the field, which is, said Kevin, great defense. Well, look at, they were 41-9 from the field.
Right.
Well, usually if I told you that going into the game, you're going to hold the Hawks to 42%.
Right.
You'd say, okay, you got a shot, right?
Yeah, especially, and then you outshoot them from the three-point line, 17 to 37.
By
you can
far.
live with that. You can live with that.
Okay, so you beat them every way in this stat sheet you can look at.
Right.
They either held their own or beat them every way possible, except you got outscored by 23 from the free throw line, and he's saying we're over-aggressive.
Right.
Well, I agree. And listen, I do not think they're as bad defensively as they get written off as. And I'm going to say it again. I don't know what's wrong with LaMarcus Aldridge, but for years, 5 years, he was the rim protector post-Duncan in San Antonio.
Yeah.
He's 6'11".
Yeah,
Trust me.
yeah.
He's long and he's wily.
Yeah, he's an all-star, Skip.
He's an all-star.
He was a perennial all-star.
Well, he just sits and watches. And I guess they're just saving him for the play-in or the playoff run or whatever it's going to be. And again, I thought Blake Griffin did a credible job on Giannis during the 7-game series. And he's just doghoused.
He's
managed to play.
himself, Skip.
He's just 6 minutes. I don't know if he's not healthy. I don't know. And then Dragic, they've been using as their point guard. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He's got COVID. So it's still out there. Just for the record,
Right.
COVID's still out there because he's down and out.
Right.
That forced my guy, our guy, you love him too, that forced Patty back into the starting lineup. And what did he give you in 31 minutes?
Over.
0 for 7 and 0 for 5, and he scored 0 in 32 minutes of action?
That's why I don't like plus minus, because of the starters. He was the only starter with a plus.
7.
He just had 0 points.
Okay.
Kevin Durant had 55. He was Kevin Durant was plus 1. He was 55 points plus 1. Patty Mills had 0 points. He's plus 7.
Right, and usually he'll steal a couple.
Yeah.
He had no steals. And can he be a liability on defense?
Yeah.
He's like 5'11".
Yeah.
No, seriously. And so what are you going to do? It's hard to hide 5'11".
Yeah. And Trae was like, nah, give me here. I want the guy, Patty Mills. Hey, Patty Mills guy, you come here. I want Patty Mills.
Okay, so we got double nickels from Durant, and we got 31 from Kyrie until you start looking at how he got the 31, and it won't work.
Right.
So remember, these two guys this year have played a grand total of 13 games together, and I think they're still trying to figure out, is it you or is it me, or should I just keep going? Or should you...
Skip, what was a blessing might have been in disguise was Kyrie could only play X amount of games. Now that he's having to play every day, there are a lot of games that he looks fatigued. And he even said it himself, I could use a day off. Bruh, you had like 80 days off. You got the ride. They got to... Skip, Kyrie played damn near 40 to 45 minutes. KD played 42 minutes.
Okay.
Skip, you cannot play that many minutes in a playoff game. You cannot.
Right. So let's say it's what it is right now. Let's say it's Charlotte hosting the Nets in the first play-in game. If you're Charlotte, are you not a little leery of who these guys are?
Oh, yeah, but Charlotte's feeling good, Skip, because Charlotte's young. There's like, we can get whatever shot we want, we can get. Because the guard play is dynamic. Rozier can play. LaMelo Ball
Yep.
and Bridges, they got guys, Skip, that can get you off the bounce. Now, yes, look, you might as well just go ahead and concede 30 to KD. KD's going to get 30. Kyrie's probably going to give you somewhere 25 to 30. So you can basically go ahead and concede somewhere between 60 and 70 points to those two. You just don't let anybody else go. You can't let Bruce Brown give you 20. You can't let one of these, Seth Curry give you 20.
Yeah.
You can't let those guys.
And by the way, Seth didn't play in this game.
With the ankle injury.
Yeah, okay.
I think them Curry boys need to drink more milk going on. They got the ankle
That's
problem.
a good point. But the point is, for Charlotte, I promise you, the night before, they're all going to bed thinking, oh, it's KD and Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're young and fearless, you're still thinking, those two?
Oh, yeah, you know, because you know what they represent. You know what those two guys represent.
So what if they somehow climb up through the play-in and they become the 8th seed?
Yeah.
And then let's say it's the Heat. That's who it would be right now. You don't think the Heat would lose a little sleep over we got to deal with those guys?
Yeah, I'm sure the Heat would. But Skip, they got their work cut out to win 2 games on the road and then basically you're gonna have to win a series where you're on the road. You're the visiting team in all 3 games, all 3 series. You'll be the underdog.
So we didn't mention there's this guy who's property now of the Brooklyn Nets, who's a 2-time back-to-back first-team all-defensive player, and he's 6'10" and long, and he took a little ice cube right out of Game 7 last year when it was Philadelphia versus Atlanta in the playoffs. And I don't know whatever happened to him. I did hear some news about him yesterday. He's filed a grievance against his former team, the Sixers.
But that ain't gonna help the Nets.
And I'm thinking, well, maybe the Brooklyn Nets should now file a grievance against Ben Simmons because where is he? What happened to him?
But no. When they made this trade, he's coming back. The only time you seen Ben Simmons, he had that Louis Vuitton hockey jersey on, and you was talking about how he was cheering on the sideline when they were in Philly.
At Philly.
Do you feel comfortable that he's coming back?
I do not.
I didn't think so.
I think that game's over.
I think so too, Skip.
Yep.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.